Greetings, my name is Christy Boggs and I'm an instructional designer for outreach credit programs, and I'm a member of various committees dealing with WyoCourses. In that capacity, I'm going to actually give you a quick overview of the new WyoCourses at UW. So the first thing I'm going to show you is the WyoCourses homepage, and what I want to show you mostly is that you see there's a tab right here for faculty and one for students. So if you're faculty and you're watching this, you can go here, and this is designed for faculty, but you can send your students to the students when they can get help there as well. If you go to the faculty tab, what you're going to see is a quick faculty support button or page, and this will show you different ways of getting technical support. We have 24/7 technical support for WyoCourses through Instructure Canvas, and we also have support from IT on campus, and we also have support for instructional help, not just technical support. This is for instructional help. So you can see here we have a whole bunch of things. Here's if you have questions about course and enrollment management, instructional support. Here's a bunch of guidance and tutorial. If you're talking about respondus for exam conversion or lockdown browsers, that's all the information you want. Now, another thing that's really important to note is that we have things that are called training and touch. If you go to the training, this will tell you things that we're doing live that will help you learn how to actually use WyoCourses for your classes. So some of these are the WyoCourses online training. You can see that today at March 24th. This is the session, that's the general overview. So you can see that. And also there'll be one on Tuesday night. And then you'll also see one of those on Friday. Then this is how you would join the session, is you would go here and you'd go to this link and you'd use your UWI credentials to log in. Then you would choose enroll in a class, go to the course, go to conferences, and join whichever one is the active conference. Hopefully one that says WyoCourses training. Okay, now in addition to this, we have a whole bunch of other things going on here. We have all kinds of online help that can really assist you and help in getting your course off the ground and ready to go. And then also we have, once you've gone through this, when you've gone through the training and you've looked at some of the videos and you say, I still don't understand how to do this, then you would want to go to our touch sessions. And those are every Monday and Friday from 1 to 3 in the ECTL on the 5th floor of Co-Library. And there's also GA touch sessions every Thursday from 2 to 3 in the L. Bogan Center on the 5th floor. In addition, we are more than happy to if you contact us, we are more than happy to do small group trainings or departmental trainings, and that's another potential way for you to get started in your Canvas activity. Okay, now that you kind of know how to get help and where to go, let's delve into the actual courses itself. Now, I'm logged in as myself, and this is what you're going to see when you first log into WyoCourses. Now, when you very first log in, you're not going to see any of these kind of announcements, nor are you going to see the to-dos, because these are things that show up when you actually have active courses. Okay, so you can see that there's been 6 announcements, there's a conversation message, there's assignment notifications, there's a discussion group, and these are all things that I'm supposed to grade. So this is a very helpful thing because it kind of pulls everything together from all your different courses and puts them right on your front screen so you know what's going on. Now, in addition to the upcoming things and the immediate things that jump up at you, we have this bar up here. You can see this nice brown bar with the white lettering, and you can see there's some menus up here. There's anything that shows up on the top brown bar, we consider to be global navigation. So what we mean by that is that whatever you change on or look at on this bar is applied to all of your courses or all of your courses and or groups. So anything that happens here, if you change it here, it will change for everything you do. So for example, if I go to grades on this, it will just show me the grades for all the courses. So you can see these are all my courses, and it tells me the grades for all of my courses. So that's kind of how that's going to work. When we get further into the courses, I'm going to show you how things that go along the side over here are specific to a course or to like your profile or something. So what we'll do then now is we're going to go ahead and take a look at your own personal settings. So anybody can go in here and create their own edit their own profile. So you can see I have a picture here, and I have ways to contact me. I have a messaging. If I edit my profile, I have an option to change my name. I can add a title if I would like. I can also go through and I can add links that go to places if I would like, so people can find my professional portfolio or something like that. And then I can say, here are ways people can contact me. So I can say they can contact me via Twitter, or they can use my Google Docs or Skype or LinkedIn. These are all things that are showing up because I went here and I said, check the contact methods you'd like to be visible to others in your profile. And I can say manage registered services. If I click on that, then I can add additional email addresses. I can also add other types of contacts like Facebook, Twitter, SMSs, texting, of course. And I can add all those as possible contact methods. I'll show you why you might want to do that in a little while. The other things I have are registered services here. And one of the things that people use a lot with Canvas or with WyoCourses is Google Docs. And so it's really great to register your Google Doc account with this because then you don't ever have to log in. It just automatically links to it and syncs with it. You also can, of course, do your Facebook or Twitter or whatever if you want to. You absolutely don't have to do that. So that's some examples of that. So when I'm done with this, I can say edit settings and add things. But I can also go back to my profile, and that's why, once again, you see all of these options here. So now all of that is really important because if you go over here, you see these notifications. Now, one of the cool things about WyoCourses is it actually sends you notifications. So it pushes information out, which is really helpful when I'm a student or an instructor to keep track of what's going on. So in here you can see that the ways that I can be contacted by the system. So this is contact by the system. So this is anytime anything is changed in the system, or if I have a message is sent to me, or if I subscribe to a discussion thread or whatever. This is how they contact me. And I can decide what they are. So you see I have my email address, my text, my Facebook account, or my Twitter account. I can change any of these I want, and I can say, geez, I really want, if there's a content changed, I want to be notified as soon as possible by Facebook. And it's going to send me a Facebook message by doing that. And I can set this up for all of them. I can say I want daily or immediately, or I can say send me a weekly summary. So depending on what it is, I may want to have that as soon as possible. So if I'm a student, I'm going to want, God, I want those grades really fast. So these settings are really important. The default setting is that everybody will get all the information to their UWYO email address. One thing to note in this is that if I, as an instructor, send an email or what I consider to be a message to my course, my students will receive it in the manner that they chose. So that might be their email address, it might be a text, it might be Facebook, it might be Twitter. They have chosen the method by which I will be contacting them. So if you feel like there's something that absolutely has to go to their UWYO account, then you want to send it through WyoWeb. Or if you have something, if you want it always to go to their account, then you have to make sure that you require that they have their UWYO account as their default for certain things. Another great thing about WyoCourses is the calendar feature. So what's really cool about the calendar feature, there's several cool things about it, but it has all of my classes. So you can see I have calendars for all the classes that I'm either a student in or teaching. And you can see if they're colored, I've chosen to make them active or not. So if I click off, you look down here, some of these are not clicked, so they're not active. The color here corresponds to the tiny little line that's around the outside of this thing, which is impossible to see. So it's maybe a little bit of a design flaw there. So you can see there's a lot of assignments going on here. So I can look at this and I can see all these different things. And some of these are assignments that have an A. Some of these are just a appointment or an event. So that's an event. And so you can kind of tell what's going on. Here's a discussion that's due at a certain time. So those are all very cool and nice. And what's really neat about this is that if I decide, I got behind and I can't do the draft paper this week, I have to do it the next week, I just move it and I drag it down. That assignment all the way through the entire system, including the syllabus and the assignment itself, that due date will have changed. I don't have to change it in multiple places. It just changes for me. I can also take this and say, I want this to actually be in a different month. So I can go over here and say, I actually want this to happen in December. So I'm going to drag this and I can drop it onto that date too. And if I go to that date here, you're going to see that it has appeared here. So there's a couple of ways to do this. Another really cool thing about this is that it has a calendar feed. And so what I can do is I can grab this and I can actually take this calendar feed and I can copy and paste it into a calendar app like Google Calendar, iCal, or Outlook, and then I can get the feed from my calendar into my calendar app. This is very helpful for students because it keeps their calendar on their computers up to date or on their phones up to date. The other cool thing about the calendar is that I can create assignments right here if I want, or events. So if I click on something, I can say, I want an event and I want this to be reading number 2. And I can decide it's due on this date. I'm actually going to make it due on where we are. So I'm going to go down to where we are here. I'm going to say, I actually want this due Thursday. So I'm going to say that. And I can decide a time if I want, but I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to say this is going to be in my Qualities of Quantities Cornerstones course. So I'm going to do that, and I'm just going to say Submit. So now what you're going to see is if we go to today, you're going to see there's my reading number 2, okay? And you can see that it's a calendar event. I can also create an assignment. So I'm going to make an assignment as well. So I've decided I'm going to make an assignment called Reading Response. And I'm having that due on there, and I'm going to put that in the same course, and it's an assignment, and I'm going to say, okay, submit that. So now I have the reading response course. So I've added these assignments. Now granted, they don't say anything, but they have now been added to my actual course. Okay, so another really cool feature is called a scheduler, and this is great because it allows students who are in your class to actually schedule time with you. So say this is advising week, and you need to be able to get all your advisees through. You could have a group in Canvas called advisees, and then they could set up the scheduler. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to say create an appointment group to do that. And I'm going to call this advising. And I can say I want this to be on today from, here's the dates I can do it. So this date from 3 to 6. And then I'm going to have it tomorrow, and I'll do tomorrow, and I'll have the same thing. And but this time I'm going to have, it's going to be, I can have it many times from 9 to 3. Okay? And then I'm going to say where it is, and then I'm going to decide which calendar that's in. So I would actually put it in, probably in my, probably put that in my advising group if I want to. But I can say split the slots into 30 minutes each, or however I want. I can limit each time slot to however many users. So, and I can also have them sign up in groups if I want. So I can save this. And what this will allow me to do is actually, students will actually get in there and they'll be able to tell when they can meet with me and set up appointments right in the calendar. So it's just an awesome feature. So now we kind of have an overview of some of the tools in the top. Now we're going to start getting into courses. Now the first thing you're going to do when you get into a course is click on the courses and groups, and what you're going to see is you're going to see a list of courses. Now I can decide what courses show up there by hitting the customize button, because as you can see here, there's 18 courses in my class, but only 4 are showing up here because I wanted them, because I wanted them to show up. And I did that by doing customize. And I go through and I say, I want this one and this one. I want certain ones to show up in here, and I want other ones not to. If I want to add one and say I would like this one to show up, I can just go in and say, okay, I really want, and then it's going to show up on there, and you can see now it's showed up there. So now we're going to go into one of our test courses. So here's our test course, Qualities of Quantities. And what I'm going to do really quick is just show you a few basic things that could just get you started. We will have other sessions on grade books and discussions and how to build quizzes and assignments, but I'm going to give you a really basic setup. So first thing we're going to do is you get into a page and you say, what do I want on my home page? Well, look up here and it says change homepage layout. Now when I click on this, I have several options of what I can do. And so I can say, if you click here, you can see, I can have a recent activity dashboard. So that will show them anything that's happened, that's changed recently. A page I'll design, which is what this one is set up. I can say make course modules or sections, so I can show you what that looks like if you'd like. An assignment list or an assignments with syllabus. So if we change to something like assignments with syllabus and it says update layout, you can see that this has got my syllabus, all right, and then it's got my assignments down here. And I just want you to note really quick that, remember those things I created that were assignments, the reading response and the reading number 2? Notice that they showed up here all by themselves. I did not change anything. I just said reading number 2 was here. I can also change the homepage layout to many other things. I can actually make it a course modules and sections. So you'll see that. If we go into there, you can see that all the modules I've created will show up. So these are all the options you have for creating the homepage layout. The one that you can do the most interesting things with is actually just a page you can design yourself. Of course, if I want to actually edit this page and turn it to create this page, I just say edit page, and then it's an HTML page, and I can do whatever I want there. Okay, now the next thing you want to be able to do is upload your syllabus. So there's a couple of options for this. There is a syllabus tool, which is great, and I actually highly recommend you do it because it seamlessly integrates with the rest of the system. And so whenever you have a due date on anything, it automatically comes in for you. It pulls the information in for you. But what you would do here is, here if I say edit syllabus description, then you can see this is just a regular, I copied and pasted this out of Word and created this syllabus, right? So that's what we're seeing here. I've also created a link here so that if somebody wanted to download the syllabus in PDF format, they could do that as well. But you can see this is a regular syllabus I've gone through. Now look here, we have a tentative schedule, okay? That is in a table. This is what we've traditionally done with a syllabus, both hard copy and online, but Canvas gives us a much better option. And let me show you what that means. Every time I create an assignment, you can see that it creates it in there for me. It puts it in the order that they belong for me. Either an assignment or an event, and an assignment can be a quiz, a discussion, or assignment. Those are all considered assignments. They will all show up in here. Anytime I put a due date on anything, it shows up in this list. So what's cool about this is you can say that this is tentative schedule, because we all know that we have these tentative schedules and we don't always follow through with them, and we change them. But this one, when I change it, it's going to change it for the student automatically, and I don't have to try to keep it working like that. The other cool thing is that if I actually decide to print this page, so I go up and I say print, this is what it's going to look like. Okay, so when you go down, it's actually going to print all of those off for you. So there's no reason for me to actually have the stagnant schedule, because it will print all the other schedule off for me. So I think that's an important thing to keep in mind. So that's a really simple way to create a syllabus. Basically, you put in the information for your syllabus that you want, and then you create your class, and it will create the schedule for you. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to cover is actually has to do with settings. Now, I know you're asking yourself, but how do I organize this, and how do I create discussions, and how do I have quizzes? And we'll have whole sessions on that later. But what I'm going to talk about real quick is just the settings. So what's really important about the settings is I can go in and I can edit information, but one of the most important things is the navigation. So I know it's really tough to tell on this screen, but you can see that this grades and up are all very dark, and discussions and down are all very light. And what that means is they correspond with this over here. Whatever's above up here, the students will see when they log in, and I'll show you what that means in a minute. But whatever's below, they won't see. So that means I can have things in here that are hidden. And when we do a section on modules, then we'll be able to see that why we want to do this, because we want people to access things through the modules instead of through the assignments or something like that. So to change these things, if I want to say, oh, I want them to see discussions, I just take this and I just drag it up here, and then discussions will become a thing that they can see. So let me show you really quick what the students will see so you understand how this works a little better. So to see what the students view, we just go into the settings right here, and then we're going to go up to student view, and you see this right here. We're going to click on the student view, and now you can see down here it says you're logged into student view. And what this is really cool, because there's a test student in every course, and it allows you to see what the students see. You can actually submit assignments, you can do exams, you can participate in discussions. The only thing you can't do is participate in a group. So it gives you a really good idea of what the students are seeing. And you can see this is what they see for the homepage. When they click on the syllabus, they're going to be able to see, you're going to see what they see. So you see all this, and then you're just going to see, this is going to populate itself in a minute, and there's all the assignments. And so I can actually see, and also the main point here is that you can see that I can't see all of those other tools because the instructor has not allowed me to. Also in the settings, besides the navigation, you're able to do some other things. In the student view, you can look at the course statistics. You can also copy this course or export this course content or import course content. That may not be too helpful at the very beginning when you're first starting, but after a while it might be helpful to just copy this course and change different pieces of it. You also have the option to make this syllabus for this course available, publicly visible, so you can share this syllabus with people. You can also make the course publicly visible, and the student data will remain hidden, but you could actually make this, which makes it kind of a MOOC-ish if you want other people to be able to come in and look at stuff and just check it out. And then also, really important is allowing students to attach things. So you can say, I want them to be able to attach files to discussions. I want them to be able to create discussion topics. You have a lot of options in here. The other thing is that if you want students and faculty to create a course together, then you can make this so that people can do that. So that's kind of a quick overview of WyoCourses. Once again, we'll have separate sessions that talk about how to create assignments and how to create modules and quizzes and discussions and how to use grading and all kinds of other fun stuff that it has, the web conferencing, but we're just going to start with this for now. So I hope this was helpful to you, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.